or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you.
Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. If we can do the roll call.
Member Gore. Mayor Bonta.
Here.
Member Kressel. Attorney Elwood.
We have the minutes to approve. Did you have a chance to read the minutes, and do we have a motion?
I did. Motion to approve the minutes from August 7th.
I'll second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And then that'll get us to our staff reports.
Good evening, everyone. Stormwater, we got one sweeper down. It seems like we have these little nagging problems all the time with the sweepers. Jamie, of course, he takes care of it and usually in a pretty timely fashion, but it just kind of stinks because we're trying to get ahead of all the, the fall dirt that's going to be flying around here pretty soon. But anyway, beside the point, other than that, everything with stormwater has been going pretty good. Of course, we had a bad rainstorm a few weeks ago and caused a lot of issues, but typically I think everything was handled pretty well by the storm. It all went down, and as soon as it stopped raining, it all went down in a good, timely fashion. So that's a good thing. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. That'll get us to new business. We have the hidden water storm issues, or hidden waters water issues.
Hello. So, Mayor, you might be aware of, and we've heard several issues from Hidden Waters throughout the years with issues with stormwater. But just recently, it was probably early this summer, we had a meeting with their homeowners association, the mayor, I, and Dan. They had a public meeting at the library, and I was discussing their forebays and their detention ponds. There was a lot of work that needed to be done on those. So just recently, I was contacted by Larry Larson from the homeowners, and he provided me with two documents that he had highlighted issues. I think they were added to our docket. And he highlighted its City of Portage legalities, and he had highlighted if the maintenance of repair. So first he says the city will also perform periodic inspections of permanent BMPs. It says if the maintenances or repairs are not completed within the designated time frame, the city shall perform the repairs or maintenance and bill the owner for the actual cost for the work. So that's what he's suggesting. He's suggesting that we do the work on these forebays because they never came up with a resolution at their meeting, and that we bill them. I said I did not have the responsibility to do the permission or responsibility to make that decision. That it needed to be brought before the board. The document I have in front of me, we're still trying to figure out where it came from. Because when I talked to Dan about it, he doesn't know if it's in their covenant. I asked Dina for their O&Ms. She did provide me with some stuff, but back in 2007, there wasn't really O&Ms that were provided after the subdivision was done, is what she states in her email. I was able to see in here where they are responsible through their, it looks like their covenant, their declaration of covenant, that they're responsible for the landscaping and the maintenance of these areas. I thought Larry was gonna be here. I don't see him here. I thought he was gonna be here to talk on his side about it. So basically, I'm bringing it to you guys' attention because I don't know what we need to do to resolve this right now. I don't know if we want to take the responsibility and pay for all that. I don't even know the cost of it. He didn't provide me with, I thought he was having engineering done.
Mr. Hannon, do you have some maybe perspective or any history or some thoughts on this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, would you mind coming up?
Sure.
Either to there or there, wherever is good, yeah.
Okay, I'll just sit right here. Is this, are we on,
Yeah, we're on
all
the,
that,
we're on C-SPAN or what have you.
C-SPAN, all right. Okay. I am familiar with the subject, Larry Larson, when I think he was doing what he thought was the right thing, when he was following the rules, I'm going to say of the Property Owners Association controlling document. And it's very thorough. Apparently was adopted when the subdivision was approved back in, 2005, 2007, whatever it was. And the language is, I've seen that language that basically makes the homeowners association responsible to maintain their stormwater system, the portion of the system that's not in the public right-of-way. And so he went out and he called me. We went out and looked at the issues. There's nothing critical, I mean, like, has to be done today kind of thing, but there are some maintenance type issues that could be addressed in the portions of the system that the POA, the Property Owners Association, is responsible for. And so they've had some trouble as a POA getting together and agreeing on a procedure to do the work. And so I think this is kind of their, that's Larry's next step, is to say, hey, how about you guys do it and bill us for it? So what I would say is this is kind of in a gray area for us as a city in terms of our, getting actively involved in inspecting, call it private storm sewer, portions of the storm sewer system. But we've recently been working with IDEM and our consultants, Christopher Burke, and we are going to be charged by IDEM very soon to start doing this on a go-forward. So when new subdivisions are approved and the private portions of the system are going to be identified, and then there's going to be some burden on us to inspect those periodically and to make sure that they are maintained. But I'm not sure that we retroactively have that responsibility. But it is coming at us. This is kind of something we could practice on a bit, because we are going to have to do this on a go forward in terms of IDEM asking us to improve our ordinance and to improve our procedures to implement an inspection and maintenance process.
I apologize, and, oh, maybe you were about to say something, maybe that'd be better to hear the attorney.
City of Portage legalities,
Yes.
that I read that John's referencing does say, and I don't know whether the city's formally a part of this or not. Like Tracy said, we gotta find the origin of this. But it says the city will also perform periodic inspections of permanent BMPs and inspect the facility, notify the BMP of maintenance or repair, and then give them a time frame to correct it, and if not, do it ourselves, and then
Yes.
bill them. So
Yeah,
if
that
we're-
is on a go forward, that's going to, I think, be incorporated in basically every new subdivision that's approved by the city.
And what is this we're reading this from right now? This is from the covenant?
Hidden Waters,
This
I
is
think
from-
it's their POA document.
It's not in there. I got the covenant from then, and it wasn't in there. I don't know
So
where
this
this
is
is
their
from.
homeowners association agreement?
Yes, that's
So-
how I read it.
Say, and again, I apologize, and Ken, I think you'll get what I'm getting at. I mean, say you and I are neighbors, and we sign some sort of contract, and somewhere in the contract, we were to say, you know, and of course, John and I agree that any, you know, tires we have are gonna be picked up by the Portage Street Department. We'll just leave them on the side of the road. People might know that the City of Portage Street Department doesn't pick up tires on the side of the road. You and I might have signed a contract, but if that contract included a unenforceable expectation, could this be an example of this? Like, they drew up basically an HOA agreement, but they included basically what they thought, maybe they either thought the city could do, or they thought they could force the city to do it?
Yeah, if the city never got bound by this language, and they just simply added it to their POA language, then yeah, or covenant language, then yes, we're not bound by this. Sorry. We need an automatic speaker system that triggers upon speech. They have those. Sorry, so if this is never part of a plat or a subdivision plan that the city approved and accepted the terms, then we're not bound by it. But that's the question we gotta find out.
Right, and.
Even the
now
language
it's-
city is a little weird, because if this was something we worked on as a city in the past, it should say something like the Stormwater Board or the utility. It might have even referenced the utility board, because I don't think they were split yet when it happened.
Right, and we might want Larry to be here, because now I'm thinking about it, I might have said 5 o'clock. I might have messed up and given him the wrong time. So he might, because I knew he was gonna be at it, he just called me 2 days ago, so I may have inadvertently told him the wrong time, because I'm so used to the sanitary board meeting.
Well, we should be able to look ourselves in the file to see if we agreed to this language.
Yes.
Through some
Yes.
plat or,
Yes, and actually, we were audited by IDEM about a month ago, and we've actually got an audit report from them. And there are some, and they've told us there are some things, actions we need to take on a go forward. They suggested in their document that we should go back and start doing this with subdivisions approved prior to today, let's just say. And our position is that we haven't had the authority to do exactly what this language says, but we're going to be coming to you soon with new ordinance language, and it is going to put us in a position of authority for inspection of these private stormwater facilities, and then we would send a notice to whoever the proper authority is, private authority, and say, you need to do this work. We would identify the work. They would then have a time frame to do it, and if they didn't do it, we would then have the authority, per this new ordinance language, to step in and get the work done.
Tracy, do you recall, because we went to the Hidden Waters HOA board meeting, you know, as a team, you know, Dan as well. Do you remember what my understanding is that HOA, it doesn't have a strong amount of revenue.
So it was $50 originally when the covenant first came out. They said they were up to like 60 or 65 now.
I
a
only say
year.
that because
A year.
And you can have a low tax HOA, I'm not against that, but I just mean to say, if we're in a situation where the city is expecting the HOA, or who pays the bill if the price for what's needed is higher? I guess that's stuff for us to ask once we know the enforceability of this current document, you know, or if we have to go back and do things in the future, how does that work, you know?
Right. And like I said, Dina found the original. She got me she said it's the Declaration of Covenants from 2007, and then there's something from Dunlin Groups from the engineering, but nowhere, I can show you on here, nowhere is that page 8, section 4. It ends at page 7, but it looks like the same writing. I mean, here, I'll give you this. I usually see this. Yeah, so that's the last page, but if you look at this, it goes through page 7, but if you look at the Roman numerals and stuff, it kind of looks like the same type. But it only goes up to 7, page 7. Because
So I think what we want to do is probably table this, and then either till our next meeting, or if there's an appropriate way to talk with Mr. Johnson if he comes at the next meeting. I'll leave that up to our attorney about what we can and can't do there, but
I think Dan may have something that he,
Okay, so, first of all, we kind of knew this O and M was gonna come down the pipe. And in, our technical standards that this board approved on June 6, 2024, it talks about some of the things here. Now, technically, we don't have to do an inspection. We can make them do the inspection. They have to come up with a plan saying we gotta inspect this every 2 years or whatever. So technically, we don't have to inspect it. They just gotta make sure they get us the documentation that they inspected it. So technically, we don't have to. But even right on here, it said that after, that for all MS4 owned or private infrastructure, including but not limited to pipes, ponds, ditches, and BMPs when required, should be submitted for the, on the final plan approval process. Okay, but like I said,
but that would be anything
this is
post
gonna
our
be-
guidelines. They would be grandfathered in, so to speak.
correct. So back then, when Hidden Waters came in back in the day, they weren't doing O and Ms really. A lot of this was, it was just done by, their covenants or HOAs and stuff like that, whatever language was written and the city approved, okay? But even on here, and I can get these kind of pages for you guys if you want to read it. It just talks about basically, just guidance, guidance where we would give them guidance if they needed it. So we do have something that's kind of in place now, which in the future will be happening. And then I do know that on their, in their HOA, I know in this one section, it does say the maintenance and improvement, repair of stormwater drainage detention basins. Now, an inspection might be as simple as looking to make sure they're mowing it and maintaining it, okay? It doesn't mean that we might go out there and check, to see if something's draining or pipes or something like that. It could be just as simple as we go out there, we look at it, yes, it looks okay. I mean, and we've been out there several times with Larry Larson too, and I think John Hannon has been too.
Well, and I think we're always happy to help.
Yeah, so we've
You
always
don't
been out
have the
there.
three of us show up at an HOA board meeting if we don't just want to help,
So, and I do know, and I don't know how we would go about, that'd be Kenny's forte. We don't want to get in the business of doing stuff for private people if we can help it, okay? I don't think that's something unless if it's a definitely a safety concern, like a road collapse and it was from a lateral, then if the resident didn't want to fix it, then we'd go in and fix it just because it is a
It's a
hazard.
safety issue, yeah.
But something like this is not a hazard right now, unless it started backing up the subdivision and the road started flooding. Then that would be a hazard. But I do know that they have, in their covenants, under Article 5, Covenants for Maintenance Assessment, it does talk about them being able to actually charge a fee, like a one-time yearly fee to get something done. And it also talks about an 18% per annum, A-N-N-U-M,
Per annum?
per annual? Is that what that's supposed to be? Well, anyway, so, they do, and it says even including reasonable attorney fees. So they do have in their POA a way to actually,
Those things paid for when they have to happen.
Correct.
Which answers my question a little bit of, if the other part's enforceable, how does that, how do we make sure that we're getting that covered? I think we just might need to wait on this, because, again, I think first and foremost, is this my tire example wasn't a great one. I was just trying to come up with something easy of, you can sign a contract that says anything between two people, but the question is, just because you say some entity is going to do something, doesn't mean that they've been informed or that they have the power or authority to do that,
exactly.
I'm sure, I don't know. I don't want to create any other examples, but I would probably recommend that we table this.
Motion to table.
And I'll second, and all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that gets us to the clean air mowers update.
kicking the tires down the road.
Always happy to advertise, don't leave your tires on the side of the road. We will not pick them up.
Hello again. All right, you should have some paperwork in here that says on the top of the first page, electric mowers update our DES number. Oh, excuse me. This was a grant that we got several years ago. Well, now it's coming time to where we're gonna start getting our equipment for this grant, okay? And if you look at the very back page, where it says Drive Clean Indiana on it, you can kind of see my chicken scratch on there, okay? Well, we were only supposed to get one mower, okay, but they allotted us $58,080. So we asked them, we inquired to say, hey, because these mowers are $30,000 a piece. So we inquired, hey, can we get another mower as long as we use, can we use the whole 58,000? And if it goes any money amount it goes over, we would pay for, okay? So if you look at my chicken scratch over here, for the two mowers, we would actually, all total would be $13,534, and that's with our 20% match. And the extra would be $1,918 over with the 58,000. So I would like the board to approve me to purchase the two mowers instead of just the one mower, because like I said, this is a pretty good price for a $30,000 mower. So for $60,000, we're getting two mowers and we're paying a little over $13,000 out of the pocket. Now, the 20% had already been approved, so we don't have to approve that. Just the extra over the 20%.
Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
That gets us to purchase a property at 5806 Central Avenue.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Andy to come up here with me, so I can make sure I get it right this time. Okay, so in our sanitary board, a couple months ago, we brought up that we were looking at purchasing a piece of property at 5806 Central Avenue. It would be housing the clerks for utility. And we had brought this up and we had made some motions to be able to look at the purchase of it and be able to get the appraisals. Because it's going to be doing storm and sanitary, we split it between storm and sanitary. So now we need to get these approval, to make these motions from here also. So Andy, if you.
Yeah, so the motions we need, first off, we need a motion that would authorize the mayor to execute a buyer's exclusive agency agreement with myself, Macaulay Bennett Real Estate, on behalf of the utilities. A second motion would be to authorize the mayor to negotiate and execute the purchase sales agreement with the sellers at 5806 Central not to exceed $300,000 and subject to the purchase requirements of Title 36 of the Indiana Code and Legal Review, and then authorize the expense for two appraisals pursuant to the requirements of Title 36 not to exceed the cost of $4,500 upon execution of the purchase sales agreement by both parties. We got two appraisals.
15 and 300.
That's right.
Doesn't the statute say the average? Am I wrong, John?
That is certainly how we approach it. Yeah. The
Right,
average
but we
of the
had
two.
the agreement with the.
So the average of the two exceed the 300,000, so we can still do 300,000. Right?
Yes, correct.
Because the storm
Because
amount
one
is
was
going
at
to
3,
be,
one was at 3, one was at 315, so that'd be 3750, right?
You can always pay less.
So and the agreement we've already got approved was for 300,000. And
So
the
if the board-
appraisals came in also, one was
300.
$3,000 or $2,000, and the other one was $2,300. So we came in under the $4,500 as
For
well,
the appraisals, yes.
Not to.
not to exceed.
So
Should
if the
be
board wants to
307.
make that motion, you can simply say so moved.
So we are, Mel, if you remember how we used to have the clerk girl separate, so utilities was separate from the clerk treasurer's office, we are going to that again. So we are buying this building to put the girls in there, so then payments can be made to that building, so people can pay their bill there. It has a drive-up window, and it will separate them out of the clerk treasurer's office.
What we're doing, and it's part of, basically, in some ways, we're consolidating pieces of the city. In other ways, we're breaking pieces of the city up or rearranging them in order to basically financially move money around the most efficient way, especially in the light of what's happening to cities, right now with the defunding in Indiana. We've kind of weighed it all, and we think that going back to having a utility billing building that has a drive-through, it can have times for people to come in either in person or drive through to pay the bill, and located, technically not downtown, but located on, Central Avenue would be the way for us to go. That also makes sure that the utility billing work and the people who are doing the work are doing exclusively utility work, rather than having kind of that mixed, work going on. This is so the utilities are just paying for utility work to happen in our billing office, It is a big change, and to put it really simply, I thought about trying to buy the building across the street back because I thought, that's got a drive-through, but apparently they're really determined to make something else with it, so. And I will second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
So then we got a new motion. So the new motion would be to authorize the mayor or the board's appointee to execute the required documents to complete the transaction contingent on legal review by the board attorney. So now we're looking to purchase the building because we've got the agreement.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, one done.
And then, is that Mr. Johnson in the back? I'm sorry, you might not be. Never mind. I saw a gentleman come in, and I'm sorry, Larson. I'm so sorry. But you're here with the Hidden Waters, right? I apologize. For some reason, my name went to Johnson in my head. I think we'll have time. What we'll do is we'll jump to the claims, and then, Mel, if you're comfortable, we can try to invite him back up since he's here. Thank you. So let's take a look at the claims. Did everybody? I'll second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any other business deemed proper? Mr. Larson, I'm glad you're here. So would you like to come up first, sir? Come on up.
Hello, my name's Alan Wozniak. I live at 3014 Anderson Street, and I'm asking, is there any update on the work on the creek off of Stone?
Before the meeting and that, the engineer's still waiting on the government.
We're still waiting on DNR to give their update.
It's kind of out of my hands. There's nothing, until they do, until they give us something till they give us the print, we can't do it.
So unfortunately, at this time, we don't have an update from the Department of Natural Resources, so we're not able to move until we hear something from them. So I'm sorry.
Well, and also, my wife and I signed a paper and about allowing the city to come on our property. And you were to get back to me with the rest of the documents.
I thought we got that figured out at the last meeting. I think there was a number. Didn't somebody look that up?
Yeah, I think that, were you here or was Scott here?
I think that was Scott, but I thought Scott looked it up and we had the duration of time.
Yeah, I think Scott said.
It is for a duration of time, but I don't know offhand the amount. But if you like, we could get a hold of him and we can send it to you via email. But I believe, if I remember from the last meeting, I think our last meeting was even on video, so we could probably watch it and send you an email. But I believe we were told that there was a duration of time that was good for. So if that time were to exceed before we find out from DNR, we would have to come back to you, I believe.
Well, if you said there was a grace of time, you're addressing me. Did I hear that?
That's what I thought we were told by our attorney at the last meeting. I think our attorney gave us a definition of how long those permits last. I just don't remember what it is offhand, but I'll watch the meeting, and I can then send you an email letting you know, or I could just call our attorney, Mr. McClure. He's a very good attorney, Mr. Elwood would agree, or if you happen to know. Well, then I don't know why I thought it was Scott.
Well, could I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. I thought someone did. Maybe in my brain I'm remembering that being told.
I didn't think there was an.
It was a right-of-way. It's a easement to be able to access the, man, I don't know what I'm thinking of, because
What I recall is he was asking,
Temporary,
he was asking for a copy of the executed document. The one with the signatures on it.
I'd like to make a request, though, that document that my wife and I signed, I would like it to be retracted, if that's the proper term. And I am not asking that the work be done in the ditch anymore, or the creek. But I would like that paper retracted. And as far as getting to that creek, whenever the city decides, whether it's this year, next year,
well, again, it's not our decision. We're waiting on the Department of Natural Resources, which is an entity higher than us over the creek. So in terms of getting work not done on the creek, I don't know if that's something that we can guarantee. Sometimes work has to be done on the creek, and sometimes it's done by other entities. You're saying that you don't want to have an easement or a ability for the city to cross your property to get to the creek. I think that can be done, but I don't know the circumstances of, I mean, Ken, I'd have to go to you for that.
I don't know if that's in the best interest of the city. I mean, if we thought we needed to do the work on the creek and got the right-of-way agreement, and we still plan on doing it, and we're still going forward with it, I don't know what would motivate us to retract it.
there,
Is there a particular concern you have about people getting to the creek?
do I have any objection to it?
Yeah, just is there a concern
No,
you
if
have?
If you went parallel to that creek, there's more than enough room without even reseeding my property, if that's the least you wanted to do. It's,
I don't know the map offhand. Dan, would you mind coming up? I don't know the circumstances of all the work and how to get there. I just know that sometimes work has to be done on the creek, and we want to do the work on the creek, but we have to wait till we have permission from the Department of Natural Resources.
Correct, correct. And could we come along the creek? Possibly, yes. And then every neighbor would have to take any fences down. And Mr. Wozniak would also have to take his fence down since it goes perpendicular with the creek. He'd have to take his fence down for us to get in there. And that's why, he was gracious enough to offer us a temporary right-of-way, construction right-of-way to get in there, to go straight in from his property. Because right now, the main issue is his property. It's behind his property, okay? That's where the main issue is. It's not his neighbors to either side. It's mostly just his property is where the erosion is taking place.
And that's not your fault. That's just where the erosion's happening.
Yeah, no, I'm not, no. It just, and it could be anywhere on the creek like that. I mean, if, you get vegetation that dies for some reason, a tree that falls down, then what it does is it makes bare ground, and then what happens is when we get a bunch of rain, it comes up, it washes it all away, and then it creates, like at your house, it creates that kind of bowl where it takes out the bank.
well, the straight path to it would still be parallel. And
Well, coming from the street to behind your house, it's just in the backyard.
Coming from Stone and Culvert, if you go from north to south, that's how they did the riprap all the way up to where the ditch, the creek has a bend in it. And they did the riprap, and they came through there with a bulldozer. But if we go straight in, my house is that foundation's on a sandy surface. We still haven't heard anything about what kind of material is going to be used, whether it's going to be poured concrete, if a concrete truck comes there, it's gonna ruin my house.
It's not gonna be concrete.
Well,
It's not gonna be poured concrete.
again,
There's not gonna,
again,
yeah.
I wanna concentrate on the paper my wife and I signed in good faith. That, from the last meeting, you mentioned it might be temporary permanent.
Right, and I thought we were told, and I apologize, because I thought we were told by,
It's just a temporary thing. Once it's done, it's
then it
signed
goes
off on,
away.
and it goes
And it has
away.
an existing lifespan, and I thought we were told that. And
Yeah,
maybe we were
it-
told that at the end of a meeting.
Once-
In my memory, we were given an answer to how long that lasts. And certainly, if the Department of Natural Resources doesn't give our utilities the go-ahead to be able to do the work, if it takes so long for them to give permission that that permit has expired, we'd have to come back to you with it, and of course, you might say no. But to Mr. Comenda's point, getting there besides could involve fences being taken down and other issues, and I definitely think we can cross that bridge if it comes to it. But I think that if this is from, I guess for me, if it's coming from a place of frustration that the work hasn't been done yet, I just want to be clear, we're frustrated about that too, but we're not allowed to do it until the Department of Natural Resources tells us we can.
I'm not really frustrated about you doing it. I've been coming here 3 years.
Oh, I understand. I said not us doing it, but us not doing it. The reason the work has not been done is not because the city is taking its time. It's not because the city does not want to do it or we're being slow about it. We have to wait until we have permission from the Department of Natural Resources to be able to do the work. If the frustration is that the work has not been done, we're frustrated too, but we can't do it yet because we have not been permitted to do so.
Well, if I'm frustrated, it's about that paper my wife and I signed. If you want to retract that, please, and when the time comes, we'll talk about
Are you
entering my property.
Sir, can you articulate to the board what's changed since you signed that agreement?
What has changed? It wasn't a complete agreement. You said there was about number of pages that you haven't even decided on, because that was a summary, as I recall this last meeting. It was just the paper I had was a summary or a sketch of what discussion was led. There's no signatures on it. There's no timeline on it. I
My understanding
signed
is
in
there's a
good
signed
faith.
right-of-way
Yes, a temporary.
approved by the board.
Correct, a temporary one.
Okay, I need to see that.
There's no
and then I
temporary
can
on it.
advise you.
It's not got any time on it except the date I signed it, my wife and I. It's not really a,
So it has signatures on it.
there's no signatures but my wife and I. I can't, is that what you asked?
So what we need to see then is, we need to see that, and if we can
We'll
send
get
that to Ken for him to look
Yeah,
at
I'll
it?
get I'll get it to you.
Sure.
I would like to have it retracted. You know, we talk about time. You know, there's illness in my family. I don't have, plus,
Are you concerned, sir, that the utilities department would go on your property when there isn't work to do? Is that the reason why you'd like to have it retracted?
what your statements last meeting was, this temporary permanent would not only apply for me as long as I own that property, it applies to the next person who owns that property and so forth.
Only if you were to sell it, well, only if you sold your property while the temporary permit was still in effect. It's going to expire at some point, and whether it expires while you own it, or if you were to sell your house next week or in 2 weeks, if the permit is still valid, it would be valid there, but it does expire. It's not a permanent one, it's
Well, if
temporary.
it- all due respect, there's no time on the paper I signed. In other words, there's no work to be done.
Right, but
I
it-
signed this paper in good faith.
But a temporary
I'm
permit
leaving.
has a certain amount of time with it. It's not that it has to state the amount of time. By being a temporary permit, that has a definition of how long those last.
Yeah, it's tied to when the project's done.
Yes,
It
exactly.
doesn't even say temporary permit on it.
Do you have a copy of it here?
I have a copy at home.
Okay, well then we'll get what we have, and we'll have our attorney look at it. But to put it really simply, I guess I just want to know, are you concerned about city staff being on your property when the project isn't
I'm concerned
happening?
about whether I'm going to be alive in the next year, okay?
Okay?
And I don't want something to burden my wife, and I would like it retract. I do respectfully ask you retract that paper, and when you're ready, when you have.
Then you want us
say
to
it's,
come
okay,
back, once
time
we
to
have
go,
approval, come
We'll
back.
do another paper, okay? But
I
would
understand
like-
what you're asking for. So you would like it that when the Department of Natural Resources gives the city permission to do the project, you want us to come back and say, we now have permission to do the project, and then ask you in the future to sign a new temporary permit. Is that correct? We'd come back and ask you for that if we get it retracted? That's what you'd like?
I would like that first, that paper to be given to me saying a document that that paper I signed, my wife signed, has been retracted. Then we'll move on to the permit, the work going on, and we have a paper in front of me that has names and dates and the timeline you have on it. Right now, I signed that out of good faith, and I would like it retracted. But when you're ready to do
Sir,
the work,
We understand your request. I have to review it as the attorney, and then I can advise the board, okay?
and you can do it,
I have to advise the board. I've never seen the document, so I have to review it first. And I will do that this month, before the next month's meeting.
that's more than reasonable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to the board? Mr. Larson, I believe we were talking about you earlier. If you'd like to come up, or if you'd like to talk to Tracy after, you don't have to speak or give like a speech or anything, but
there were some questions.
but we, yeah,
So it got tabled.
we tabled it, so I don't know if we have to untable it to speak to him, or if he can just. Second, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Okay, so I explained, Mr. Larson, I explained to them the document that we received from you. So as a board, they're interested in where that full document is. We're not certain where this came from.
Okay, this is a page out of documentation that I just received last month, that we should have received several years ago. But it's actually the instructions for maintaining the, I can't remember what they call it, BMP or something like that, but essentially the drainage portion of our development. And to get right down to the crux of the matter, we're not asking for the city to pay to do anything. We want the city, because it's a highly technical situation with as far as even the inspection of it and then having to contract to get this work done. I would like, and the board would like, the city to do what they, like what that says in the, this document, to perform the inspections and let us know, and if we don't do anything about it, the city would come out and complete the work that's required and bill us for it.
This document is your HOA documentation, or?
This document is the city's.
Where's the rest of the document? I need to see that it was adopted by a city board. I need to see that it was signed by the chairman of the utility board.
Right. You guys sent it to me.
Okay, that's the eye-opening.
So,
Can I ask who sent it to you?
I can't, do you remember what her name is?
Would it be Dina?
Dina?
Possibly.
Sandy? Dina didn't
Oh,
have the document.
Sandy sounds familiar.
Okay.
So that sounds like the, well, if it's Sandy, that'd be the planning department, and that was where I was concerned, that this was either coming from, say, the covenants or some sort of HOA
No,
regulations.
this is a city document. And
The rest of us haven't seen it. That's the problem.
Yeah, this was the first time we've seen it.
okay.
So someone from, I'm guessing, it sounds like the planning department
It's a
used
fairly
something.
long document, giving,
Do you know what the title of it is called?
no, I don't. I'm
Is it
sorry.
a O&M manual? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Operation and maintenance manual?
Right. Yep.
So it might be a document, in the file for when the subdivision was reviewed and approved.
So would that have been something that's part of the
And
subdivision?
it should be in Sandy's file.
Would that be part of their site plan approval?
Well, subdivision,
Yeah.
yeah. It'd be a technical document, maybe not necessarily reviewed and voted on by the plan commission, but it was part of the submittal that was reviewed by, at least by the staff.
So at the time that was passed, wouldn't any agreement like that have to be approved by at the time we used to have one board, wouldn't that need to have been approved by the utility board?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. On a go forward, we are gonna be charged with reviewing these and making them a formal part of the approval. Right. In the past, it's been, let's just say, somewhat informal, and we'd like to keep it that way between you and me. I mean, we don't wanna go back and be responsible for things that other boards did.
So maybe.
We're gonna update our ordinance, we're gonna update our rules, and on a go forward, be responsible in a way that this suggests. I don't know that we have the responsibility on this one.
Would you be willing to give
We
the
won't know
full,
till we look at the document.
the full document to our attorney and then he can review that?
Yeah, you guys emailed it to me, so I.
Well, I didn't,
No,
and Tracy
I know the
didn't.
city did.
Well, right, but so to understand, and this is important to note, even the fact that it says the city, so we're having a meeting at City Hall, but the utilities, they are separate corporations from the city. Rates and certain things that the city can do are regulated by the city government, and by definition, the board is chaired by the mayor and an appointee by the city council, actually 2 appointees, I believe, by the city council. But it's not like there's one civil city with this utility department. This is actually its own corporation. That's why any agreements made need to be approved by that corporation's board.
Okay, my point
Yeah.
is if you give me your email address, I can email the files to you.
And I appreciate that, just when you say you sent it to us, we didn't.
I don't recall seeing the entire document.
All right.
Sounds like what you got was from the planning department, which is part of the civil city, and it would have been in their records from when the subdivision was approved, which is great. But we need to find out if what's in there was ever approved by the utility board, and if it was, we've inherited it. If it wasn't, then we need to figure out what to do next. You know, whether what's in that document as it pertains to this body, whether it's an unenforceable piece or whether it's something that is enforceable. We want to help you. We just need to figure out where this all came from.
I'd also like to speak to, if I can have a minute, about the informality of the process back in 2007. It had been explained to me by several members of the city government over the years that the way that it happened. Oh, okay, thanks. I like it. It's definitely unique. Was that during the planning, the planning commission looks at the plans and sees all this drainage that has to be done and asks the developer, who is Monk Twilla, how are you planning to pay for this? Monk just says, well, we're going to have a property owners association, and the board says, okay. Then they have all of this responsibility for us to do, and actually I'm waiting for a proposal right now to get the work caught up, which is probably going to be around $80,000. The annual fee in our homeowners association is $50, which can't pay for any of this. So I think that in the future, there needs to be a review process by whatever board
Yeah, so,
commission does this to make sure that the developer has actually a workable plan. Because as this is, it's just not workable.
well, so you're talking about 2006? Would that sound?
I think it was.
2006 or so. I was planning the Andran homecoming dance at the time. I assure you that I only say that because not just myself, but since 2006, 2007, a lot of progress has been made by previous administrations and my own to make things run a whole lot better, and to your point, more formally in how these things are reviewed. Tracy's been phenomenal at making things better, as has Mr. Hannon has also helped, and of course we have Ken helping with this. I can't speak to what happened at I thought it was 2006, but either way, 2006, 2007 Plan Commission meeting. You're right, it does seem like a lot of things don't make as much sense, but we have a lot of safeguards as a city now, and it's not just me, it's not just the people working for us now. Each generation, if you will, since has worked to make things better, but we still run into weird situations. We have 13 roads in the city that are not legal roads, yet people are driving on them and expecting the city to fix them, but no one ever noticed that they're all just driveways, and we're trying to figure out how to address that, you know, and that's left over from, well, anyway, I could go on and on about goofy things, but I just want to assure you, we don't do it the way that it used to be.
And we can't tell them what to bill you guys, or what to,
Right,
what the developer.
I understand that.
Because we don't know what's gonna happen, we didn't know COVID's gonna happen, and price is gonna skyrocket.
But they should have had him present a plan and show how he was making we would have enough income to actually do what they're asking us to do. But
So I would generally agree, but at the same time, that gets tough because, and I don't want to, this would be a great conversation to have. If you'd like to come to like some of the office hours we do to talk more generally about city policy, I mean, you could make an agreement with that at a plan commission meeting, and then 2 or 3 years later, a new HOA board could take over and they could lower all the dues, which might make everybody happy until there's a big storm cost that comes in, you know?
in our particular situation, we can't do that, but, and I'm not trying to change that or go back and change what we have. I just want help.
We
in
wanna help
actually
ya.
The administration of this. We don't mind paying for it, well, some of us might. But I'm not gonna be on the board forever, and I wanna know that this is gonna get taken care of when I'm not.
So the question I would have, if you were saying this is gonna be $80,000, how, if it's $50 that you guys are collecting from 300 and something
It's
residents?
164.
How would we get reimbursed the 80,000?
Because you would bill us, and
And it
then
would
we can
take us
put that,
80
we can
years?
put that into our budget and for the special assessment.
If they're not wanting to pay it, and they're not gonna pay it to you guys now, why would they
No,
pay it
no,
to the city?
nobody's saying they don't wanna pay it.
We were at the meeting,
Well,
we heard them.
that's a handful of folks, but.
Yeah, I mean,
but
that
we
would
can-
be about $266 per house if you're trying to get it up to 80,000, you know, for one repair.
So that's just this annual special assessment, and that's, now it's that way because it's been ignored since 2007. So it's gonna be a bit steeper, but the finances, the way to pay it through the HOA is allowed. I mean, there is a method to do that.
Like I say, we want to help, but we need our attorney to review the document first, and as noted, it came from files that the planning department has, it sounds like, if you got it from Sandy, but we need to review it on the utility side, because we're one of the utility boards, and figure out what this document is, and also making sure that it's legally binding, you know?
So I have a couple of questions. How much money do you have in the account today?
Roughly $15,000. And our only other expense is the maintenance of the little island that for some reason is out in the entrance of our neighborhood.
And the $80,000 quote that you got, what's the major?
It's not in writing yet, and for what reason I can't tell you, but we walked the property with John, and they just haven't gotten back to me with a hard price yet, but Casey's initial off-the-cuff number was about $80,000.
No, I mean, what are the issues? I mean, I know it's drainage, but I mean, specifically, what are they?
Well, there are things called forebays. I don't know if you're familiar with that terminology. I just learned it about a year ago. But where the street drainage comes into this, there is a natural pond there, which I personally don't understand how we could use that for drainage off the roads anyhow, but that's neither here nor there. The pipe comes in through an easements into this pond, and it stops at various lengths depending on the lots that it's coming through. So there might be 10 feet between the pond and the end of this pipe, there might be 70 feet. And that area between the pipe and the pond is called a forebay. The purpose of that is to slow down the water that's draining into the pond. And the idea is that the sediment will settle in this forebay to prevent polluting the pond. I think I said that right.
It's supposed to be like filtering it.
Yes. So, and they fill up with sediment in vegetation, and so they don't work. And Brian is one of the residents who's affected by this. In his yard, he's got a big one in his backyard. It floods his yard, and it smells. So he would really like to get it taken care of.
So I'm reading this language, what it does say, and again, we don't know if this is legally enforceable because one way or another, this needed to be approved. I'm taking it by the utility board at the time. And if it was, that's something, and if it wasn't, that's another thing. But it says here that again, what's odd to me is how it says city, and that's kind of odd to me because, I mean, under normal circumstances, I would never want it to say city. It should say the stormwater utility, or, you know, it should say something to that effect, utilities. But it says the city determines if BMP is in need of maintenance or repair. The city will notify the BMP owner, that would be the HOA, is that right?
Apparently.
Sure, well, that's important to know who the owner is, but then, and provide a time frame for completing the maintenance and repairs. So the city basically says, here's the problem, here's how long you have that we expect you to complete it. And then it says, if maintenance or repairs are not completed within the designated time frame, the city shall perform the work, the repairs, or the maintenance, and then bill the owner for the actual cost of the work. So you're saying, like, if it's an $80,000 repair, you already have the ability to bill and collect $80,000 from the residents in your HOA.
Yes.
Well, then you wouldn't need the city to do the work. You would just bill them and then get it done in most cases, right?
But it's the matter of getting it done.
Right, but it sounds like you can identify the people who can fix it and pay for it privately. What I'm reading here, again, assuming this is legally enforceable, and I don't know if it is, but if it's legally enforceable, the city's actually, in this circumstance, ordering you to get it done, and it's really more of a punishment if you refuse to do it. Then the city does it and we bill you. It's not really something where you call the city first. Like, we're not a private company to come out and, well, I'm sorry, I'm saying city because I'm using your words to quote the one guy, but I guess to put it simply, like, the HOA can and should be fixing these problems themselves. It's the way this is written, assuming it's enforceable, is if you're refusing to do the work yourselves, the city will do it and then bill you.
My point is that we do not, we're just homeowners, okay? We don't know anything about any of
Right,
this
but
stuff,
there are companies that you would
engineering-wise.
contact, and the HOA would contact that company. The company would do it for you, and then they would send you a bill.
But how do we know that the company is doing what needs to be done? There's no level of.
I mean, when I hire a landscaping company to mow my lawn, I have to take some responsibility to make sure I'm hiring a company that knows how to mow.
If it was mowing the lawn, I would know how to do that.
I can help a little bit. I did actually, I found the document. Sandy did copy me on it. It's a maintenance manual that was submitted, probably reviewed by the engineering department or the staff. I don't know that it ever went before the plan commission. It's a maintenance manual. It's a very nice, it's a well-constructed document, pretty much ahead of its time, quite frankly. But typically what's anticipated in a sophisticated POA or HOA is that the POA would hire a management company. The management company would then manage all of the facilities that the POA is responsible for. And then, again, they would be paid. And then they would they would have the technical ability and the knowledge and the experience to arrange for different maintenance type companies to come in and do work when necessary. Typically, you wouldn't expect people sitting around a kitchen table to have the technical expertise to do what this manual anticipates.
Right.
Normally, you'd have a management company, and I don't know that, did Monk Twilla ever arrange for okay, so there's kind of a disconnect there.
That's the disconnect, is
Tried
that,
to get a management company, but the management company won't touch us because our annual dues collection is only $7,000.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's
So-
so I see, that explains the disconnect. This manual, assuming it's enforceable, and I don't know if it is, it's assuming that there's a management company
That's exactly what it's.
that would be knowing who to hire to do this work or is hiring people
They
to
would
do
know.
this work.
They would do this on a day-to-day basis and have the knowledge and the experience to get these things done and to adjust HOA fees on a regular basis. You
And
know,
that-
do all of the things that are necessary.
And that's where I want to be careful, because using a different entity of the city, I'll give you an example. Let's say somewhere else in that document, let's say that you guys were a maintenance-free neighborhood. You know, your HOA is paying for, the property management company is paying for the grass to be mowed on every yard. You might find in a manual something that says, you know, you'll mow the grass, and if not, then the city, in this case, probably the street department, will come out and mow. But that doesn't mean we want every,
That is
that,
actually a city code, I believe.
yeah, it is, but by the same token, we don't encourage, and in fact, we don't allow people to just call the street department and book a mowing.
Right. But
And by the
that's
same
not-
token, like, you know what I mean, like,
Where
we're
that
not trying,
differs.
we're not trying to compete with a mowing company or a landscaping company.
Where that analogy doesn't work is the technicality that's involved and the expertise that would be needed to perform this.
No, there are companies that do the work, and in almost every circumstance, a management company would be expected to hire those companies to do the work. Surely, if this is enforceable, if you guys fail to, or your management company doesn't, or you guys don't want to do the work, the city can discipline you in the sense of we have the power, if this is enforceable, to go and fix those things and send the bill to you. We still probably would have to go through legal to get you to pay, because there's no guarantee that you guys are going to pay it. Do you see where there's trouble here? Like, we're not a company that you call to get this work done if it's above and beyond the city's responsibility. Just like we don't have people call and book grass mowings with the street department. I think that's the disconnect.
We're not asking to have it paid for. We're willing to pay.
Right, but that's just it. What you should be doing is pay for it first with a company that has the expertise, and then if you do not, then assuming that this document is like legally valid, we as a form of discipline would come in and do it and then send you the bill.
As I understand the legalities of the covenants that we have, we can do a special assessment for the maintenance of this BMP or whatever it is, but that's all. I can't do a special assessment to hire a management company.
I can't answer that because I haven't seen your covenants, all that. I just know
mean,
that,
that's just the way it is. I've been through this a gazillion times, and our hands are tied. I mean, we've been hamstrung by this document that is so poorly done by the developer.
did you guys read your stuff before you bought your house?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, you were aware of some of these issues with the HOA
I
as
knew
well.
what the covenant said. I had no idea what the breadth and length of our requirement to maintain landscaping was. Nobody ever had heard of a 4-bay. This was all just sprung on us.
Well, and again, I don't want it to be stressful, and we want to help as much as we can. At the same time, we also have to be very responsible and fit within legally what we can and can't do. I think the best thing, especially if the full document is available, I think if you give us some time for our attorney to review it, we can bring it up at our next meeting.
All right? I can do that, or can you send it to him?
I
or should
certainly
do
will.
it?
I'll share it with Ken.
You're probably tabling this then.
Motion to table.
Second? And all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other business? And if not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
We do.
And I'll second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.